Hey guys, so I had another microphone malfunction. I don't know what's going on with this thing. For some reason it keeps corrupting like in the middle of my recording. So we're going to try this one more time, and I apologize because I've already gone ahead and done a few things, and so I'm going to have to try and backtrack just a little bit. Um, but hopefully we can keep this on track. So where we're going to start is we already created our animations, but we have not created an animator controller yet. So go into your animations folder wherever you've set up whatever animal you're going to be working on, and you're going to create an animator controller right here. Okay, and you're just going to name this. We're in stag, so we're going to do stag anime. I can't spell animator. Not sure why it made this space there. We're just going to delete that for now. I know why that happened. It's just because I'm pre-building some of this stuff so it'll save time the video. So now that we have this blank space here, what you're going to do is you're going to just in your animations folder, you're going to shift, click and drag all your animations into the animator window, and just kind of sort through these a little bit because we're going to need to set this up in a slightly linear type order. So the way I started it would be with idle, because we're gonna entry with idle. So find all your idle states. Just kind of check through. Usually from idle, then I'll go into the walk. Again, another reason why I suggest that eventually you go through and rename all these, because you're going to have a bunch of stuff that's slightly different from what I have. I've seen the bear, I think, has like 4 different idles and 5 different walks, and other ones have way less. So your tree's going to look much different than mine in the long run. But so we're just going to start with this. So remember, enum is going to be, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll see the whole clock eventually. So just to get started, what we're going to do is create a new state. So create state, and just create an empty state. We're going to name this, I don't know, choose state, and then we're going to make a transition from idle to entry, so set as layer default state. So that'll be our entry point into this animation state tree. So idle 1, whatever your main idle is going to be, whatever you named it. I haven't renamed these yet, so currently mine is idle 1, but we'll take care of that later. So from here you're going to make a transition, and you're going to choose a state, then make transition and back to idle. And you're just going to do this with each one of these. As you go through the whole tree. You're going to have to do this for all of these, but I'm going to speed this up in a few moments. So We'll get to that in just a minute. Now your idle to choose state means basically it's false. So we're using the enum and the integer value, and we need to set that up real quick. So over here in parameters, so you have the layers, then parameters, you're going to just click this plus, and you're going to create a new integer, and we're going to name this state. Make sure the spelling is correct, because in code we're going to be using this as a string value, so the spelling has to be exactly this with a lowercase s, state, and it's an integer. Okay, so now our transitions. So our transition from idle back to choose state, meaning it's false basically, we're going to go not equals 0, and if it is true, then we're going to go into the idle one animation, so we're going to go equals 0. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way around the clock. So the next one will be basically the same thing. We're going to go state not equals, but this time 1. The next one's going to be state equals 1. So not equals equals, and same thing, you already guessed it, not equals 2 and equals 2. And we're going to go ahead and set the rest of these up. I'm going to pause the video when I go through and set it all up. Alright, so one more thing before we go ahead and set the rest of these up. I almost forgot. We're going to go into each one of these, and we're going to remove exit time, remove fixed duration, and set our transition duration to 0. And you can do this to all of these. Just set them all to no duration, no exit time, and not fixed duration. Alright, so we're going to pause for a moment, and I'll be right back with the rest of these all set up, so we can just show you one little quick thing about the sleep states, and we'll get to that in just a moment. Alright, so I've set everything all up. As you can see, here's my entry point. It's going to go back, down to idle, your initial idle. I have not renamed mine yet, but idle 1 is the one I'm going to choose for now. That's going to be my entry level idle state. So this is the enum integer value 0, so not equal 0, choose state, and equals is going to make this animation fire. And each one goes from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you might have something different, but wherever you land on this number right here, okay, this is going to be a little bit different. So this one for me equals 6. We're going to go into the sleep start phase. This is an animation that's going to carry through to a has exit time. So this one will have exit time. It will have an exit duration, exit time, and it will have no fixed duration and no transition duration for now. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. This should not be looped. This can be looped, so set this one to loop time for idle, whatever your sleep idle is. This one is not. Make sure. Okay, that's not. This one is. So that'll loop till our state says that we're going to go to your sleep end animation. Oh, this was 6. Okay, so this means not equals 6. That's fine. And then the sleep end should not have a loop time, because as soon as that's done, it's gonna go into the next one. So not equals 7. I think we can play with this and make this a little more easier by maybe just removing the has exit time. But for now, just set this up this way so everybody's on the same page. We can make an adjustment later if you guys feel that we can make that smoother, and I think we can. But anyway, so the rest of these are all set up. So the next one from 7 will be 8, not equals 8, not equals 8, and 9, and all the way through. So just set these up accordingly to something similar to this. Again, it's going to be a little bit different. Your numbers are going to be a little different, and that's okay, because we're going to set that up in the next script. Alright,